One of the questions here that made me laugh was, have you ever been angered by a spoiled brat that you were pastoring? I think that everyone has in one way or another. And one of the ways I'm trying to think about this theologically is so that that there's something more at stake than just you entertaining young people or even you connecting with young people, and to think about this more across the church, that youth ministry is done by a community of people, not just by one person. So if you happen to run into that young person that annoys you, that you're not just stuck with them, but that there's a community of people. And I prayerfully believe that there's probably one person in your church who is not angered by this particular young person. But I think it's a pretty common situation. And where I think theology plays in is thinking about what it means to be human, what it means to actually live with boundaries, and that as being human beings, and even theologically being in ministry, means being able to say yes and no to young people. And that's something I'll definitely talk about when I'm with you. I think that leans into, I have a new book that is just coming out here in June 20th called The Grace of Dogs. That's a memoir about us putting down a black lab that we had for 13 years named Kirby, who we loved deeply, and watching my kids respond to that, kind of sensing, having the experience myself of great grief and wondering, what are these animals? We have another dog now who's actually almost 4 years old, and her name is Khaleesi from the TV show Game of Thrones, the princess with the white hair. She's a white Labrador. So I think there's a lot we can learn from dogs, and we can talk about this more in November as well. I love it. The road to philosophy. I think there's a lot to be learned from philosophy, and to thinking kind of deeply in this kind of philosophical vein is what my vocation really has been about here in America, is trying to push youth workers to kind of think theologically and think more philosophically and about big questions of metaphysics and epistemology and all those big philosophical words. And that's really been what I've been very interested in, is thinking about the philosophical part, how people understand, or how they understand grace or divine action, and that this is a road, this is a journey, and that we find the crucified Christ resurrected and with us, ministering to us, and that we're called to participate in that. Root and Shy?